I've been asked about this many times, so now you get my answer to the question of why I quit my job in 2021 on this episode of Major Money Matters. Welcome to Major Money Matters. My name is Major. I'm the host of Major Money Matters, and I'm a mortgage broker powered by Edge Home Finance. And today we're going to talk about the answer to the question of why I quit my job in 2021. So look, 2021 saw come with it, just the ramifications of COVID and people really starting to reassess their lives, and people losing family members and going through sickness and disease and recovering from that. Some people being on the brink of death and then coming back from that, and they really start to reassess as they themselves and some of their family and friends went through this situation. So I found myself in the same situation, reassessing things about where I was in life and some decisions that I wanted to make and some professional decisions that I wanted to make and how my professional life was going. Now, I retired out of the military and I started working for a direct lender. Now, if you clicked on this and you know who my previous employer was and you're looking for me to say something negative about my previous employer, not going to happen. They are some of the greatest people that I have ever met in my life. I love them to this day, and I will not say a negative word about them. So if that was your objective for clicking on this, I'm sorry to disappoint you. But I made the decision to leave the lending world or the direct lending world and become a mortgage broker. Now, you need to understand the difference between a direct lender and a mortgage broker. A direct lender is someone who works directly for one bank or one individual or one group of individuals. They have a loyalty or have a connection to those individuals, and when you go to them to get a mortgage, you get one set of rates. You get one set of options when you go to them to get a mortgage. Now, you can go up and down that rate sheet. Maybe you go from a 3.5% interest rate to a 3.3% interest rate, or you go from a 3.3% interest rate to a 3.2% interest rate at a cost or a buy down, or you go up that rate scale from a 3.5 to a 3.7 in order to get more lender credit. So you can do that, but you are only doing that at that one lender. A mortgage broker is different. A mortgage broker searches among many different companies in order to find you the best rates and the lowest amount of fees to fit your situation. So that brings me to the number one reason that I left the direct lending world and became a mortgage broker last year. The reason is better interest rates for my clients. Now, in 2020 and 2021, everyone had low interest rates. If you bought a house in 2020, 2021, it's very likely if you have a VA loan, you're at 2.25 or 2.5, 2.75 probably at worst, okay? If you were working with a lender that had competitive rates, and at my previous lender, in general, our rates were pretty competitive. So if you bought a house in 2020 to 2021, that's pretty much in general where you are depending on your credit situation, okay? So even, I was able to even provide some people with bad credit situations. They were able to receive a rate at least in the high twos, even if they had a tough credit situation. So it was pretty cool. As we transition into a new environment of increasing interest rates, you've seen rates go up very, very quickly. And you're seeing very different interest rates at various different banks because those banks are adjusting to the movement in the market, some of them faster, some of them slower. So as a mortgage banker, the number one thing that I get is better interest rates because I am able to shop among many different banks in order to find you the lowest rates and the lowest fees. It's an incredible benefit for you, the individual client, the individual shopper who's out there trying to get the best rate on your mortgage. Now, it is possible that and conventional wisdom will tell you If you're shopping for a mortgage, you should shop from many different lenders and you should talk to many different lenders. Frankly, I'm not against that, but likely most of my buyers are active duty or retired or VA loans. Is my basically 90% of my business is VA loans. They have families, they have kids, they have PCSs to worry about. They're worrying about many different things. They do not have time to really focus in and say, I need to call 3 or 4 different banks to see what their interest rates are. By the way, interest rates change daily, so if you're not calling them all on the same day, you really don't know what their interest rates are because those rates are changing daily. So what I do as a mortgage broker, I shop among many different banks for them in order to find them the lowest rates and the lowest amount of fees. So that's number one reason I left my job, is because I wanted to be able to shop among many different companies to find my clients the lowest rates and the lowest amount of fees. The number 2 reason I left my job is lower interest rates. Now, when I worked at that direct banker, or direct lender, that lender had employees, and that lender had buildings and overhead and different levels of management and leadership and different branches in different areas. All of those things played into the interest rates that I was providing to my clients and my family and friends, because they price in the interest rate so that they can cover their overhead. Today, I work out of my office. I am currently in my home office. I work out of my office. My entire team works out of their home. So we don't have any overhead. We communicate through Microsoft Teams and we call each other when we need to, but most of the times we're sending messages. Everybody knows what they have to do. I don't have any overhead. Therefore, I am able to take wholesale rates and provide them to my clients so that they get lower interest rates and I don't have to price in certain jumps or certain levels or certain, what we call in the loan industry, basis points into certain things, because I am able to provide rates at low fees at wholesale interest rates. So that is another reason that I left my job in 2021. The third reason I left my job in 2021 is faster closing times. Now, at my previous job, we were able to close in 30 days, basically. Well, I came over to the broker side, and frankly, I was shocked by how fast we were closing loans. You know, we're closing, in some cases, we're closing VA loans in 17 to 21 days. Those things are in place because wholesale lenders have adopted what's called fintech in order to get processing through very, very quickly, in order to get you into your home faster. So we close extremely fast. If it's a conventional loan without an appraisal, you're looking at potentially 2 weeks to closing on that loan. Now that is absolutely amazing. So I wanted to be in a situation where I can close loans faster, because if you're a military member and you know what it is to PCS and you know what it is to stay in a hotel with a wife, a husband, 2 kids and 2 dogs, and it's cool. I mean, I'm based out of Hawaii, and it's cool when you're in there the first couple of nights. It's cool. It's like a staycation. I mean, me and my wife typically go on staycations probably about once every 3 months or so. We just go say, hey, let's go relax at a hotel. Sometimes we take the kids, sometimes we don't. But we go chill out at a hotel and have a staycation. And that's how you're going to feel when you're PCSing and you're moving to a new place. You're typically going to be downtown and going to be in a hotel. But the problem becomes, about a week into that, it gets really old really, really fast. So I wanted to be able to close quickly and get people into their homes much, much faster. The next reason I left my job is I really wanted the ability to say yes to realtors more often. Understand that every single bank, whether it's a direct lender or whether it's a big bank like your B of A or something like that, those banks have individual overlays for all of their loans. They have overlays on credit score, and an overlay is something I explain like this. So I grew up in South Carolina. My mom was a minister. My dad was my dad, but my mom was a minister, and she had very strict guidelines for how she ran her household. Even today, it is difficult for me to go home and walk into my mom's house after midnight. And I'm 41, 42? Can't remember. I'm 42, I think. I think I turned 40. I think I turned 42 this year. But it's hard for me to go in my mom's house after midnight. And that was a rule in my house. You don't come into the house after midnight. So now it is legal for you to go into someone's home or go home after midnight. In fact, many of you probably went home after midnight. But in my house, something you just couldn't do. It's the same way with overlays for loans. You cannot do certain things at certain banks. So each individual bank has overlays. Now, because I work with so many different banks, I can say yes to realtors more often, because if it's a DTI or debt to income issue, we know where to take that loan. If it's a credit score issue, we know where to take that loan. If it's a multiple property situation, we know where to take that loan. So there are many different banks that we can offer, that we can broker a loan through, because we have so much access to so many different banks, and we get the opportunity. When a realtor brings me a client, I get the opportunity to say yes more often. I can't say yes all the time, but I do get the opportunity to say yes more often because I have access to so many different banks. The final reason I left the retail space and became a broker is because we have access to more products. Now, understand in the loan business, there is qualified mortgages, or what we call QM mortgages, and also there are non-QM mortgages. Now, at my old retail place, I had a lot of QM mortgages. I could do VA, FHA, USDA, conventional loans. Those are QM mortgages that I could do. But I couldn't do non-QM mortgages. Things like ITIN loans, DSCR loans, bank statement loans. I couldn't do things like that. But today, when somebody comes to me or comes to my team and they bring a situation that doesn't fit into this little box where it's under a certain government guidelines, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Ginnie Mae guidelines, I can go over here to these non-QM lenders and say, hey, can you do this loan for this individual, this small business owner who hasn't filed taxes in a while? Can we do a bank statement loan for them to get them into a home? I have multiple different ways to get people into a home because I have more lending products. That part is absolutely phenomenal, and it makes the job very, very rewarding because you become a problem solver, not just a order taker, when you have just this small set of things. And I could service many different clients. So that's why I made the decision that I made. Many people, when I left, had something to say about it, and I was frankly at peace with it because I had done my research and I knew that being a broker was simply the best thing for the client. It was the best thing for me and the best thing for my realtor partners. So if you're not working to a broker, and I am staunch in my belief that I believe brokers are better. I believe a broker is the best place to get a loan, period, because they have access to so many different options for the client. And I believe if you're a realtor, you should be working with a broker. So, and that is at the benefit of your clients. I actually have a realtor partner who they have a relationship with a different retail lender, but when they have their family and friends, they will bring them to me because they said, hey, Major, I know that your rates are lower, and I know you're going to get my family member into a house with the lowest amount of fees and the lowest rates. But they have this business relationship with this other retail lender who have higher fees than me, higher rates than me, and they choose to send their business that is not family and friends over there. I don't know why that is. I believe a broker is the best way for you to give your clients the best experience and the best opportunity to spend the least amount of money on a monthly payment and get into a home, because that rate is going to be at a wholesale level. If you're not working with a broker, I challenge you to do this. When you are buying a house, ask your retail lender, if you're not working with a broker, who did your mortgage on your house? Just ask them. I can tell you that when I was in the retail space, many of the loan officers did not get their loans from the retail space. When they wanted to buy a home, they went to a broker because they knew that brokers were better. That's it. That's the truth on why I made the decision I made. See you next time on Major Money Matters.